I'm going to give you some information how to change an active sentence to passive. Today, let's change some active sentence to passive sentence. Before I jump on, let me tell you, in passive sentence, what is very important is that the active sentence should have subject and object. So if an active sentence doesn't have a subject and object, so it means that it is not possible to change them. Okay, let's see. For example, I speak English. So in this sentence, this is an active sentence, you know it better. We have subject here, we have the verb here, and we have the complement, or it's better to say we have object here. So if I want to change this one into the passive, so what is very important here is we should focus on object, right? Because the object becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Now I can say that English, and here now I'm going to focus on the structure of passive. So I'm using be plus verb 3. It means that verb 3 is very important in passive sentence. Now, be can be different. Be can be is, it can be am, and also it can be are. But if it is a past tense, now these verbs can be was and were in passive. But if you're speaking about perfect tenses, then I must change these two into been. And if you are working on continuous tenses, then you must use being plus verb 3. Okay, so these are the forms that how can you change an active sentence in passive by using be. In fact, you have to change be into SMR, but if this active sentence is past, then in passive you have to use was and were. If an active sentence is present perfect tense, then you have to use from been into the passive tense. One thing more, if you're changing a continuous tenses or progressive tenses into passive, then the be is going to change to the being plus past participle. The first rule is, if you want to change an active sentence to passive, in passive the subject goes to the object of the passive, and the object of an active sentence becomes the subject of the passive tense. Let's see here. Now this is the sentence, I is the subject, right? And here we have a speak. Speak is the verb and English is the object. Now if you want to change an active sentence to passive, the most important thing is the most importance of subject and object, right? If in the sentence you don't have an object, then that's not possible to change them into passive because there is a lack of object. And now let me change this one into passive. Now this is the object because the object directly becomes the subject of the passive because I am bringing this from the beginning. Now then you have to consider the tense of the sentence. Now we use subject here plus verb plus complement, so it means that this is a simple present tense. This is a simple present tense. We use in simple present tense is MR, so be is going to be is MR plus verb 3. Now the speak is the verb 1. English, according to, so with the English I use be. English is, and I have to change this one, the third part, or into the past participle. You can say English is spoken, right? And English is spoken. Now this one should go as an object in passive sentence. Now what is the object of I? It is going to be me. Now I'm using a by phrase also. By. English is spoken by me. So this is the rule. Okay, so how we can change an active sentence to passive? So we can bring some changes in our sentence. Now let's change the tenses, right? We'll start from simple present tense. But you have to put in mind the rules. Don't forget the rule. The first sentence is simple present tense. Let me give you some examples. The first example is, so first I'm using active sentence. I write active sentence, then we'll change it into passive. Then I write the passive. Okay? But we have to respect the rule. Rule is very important. He sent a letter. Right? He sends a letter. So as I told you, we have to consider the rule. First, subject, verb, object. Okay? Remember this, a complement can be anything. Complement can be an adverb. So that's why we cannot change that verb into the object. But the complement should be a noun. Oh, sorry. The complement should be, the object should be a noun. Okay? So let me change into the passive. So this comes as an object of the, this comes as a subject of the passive. So I can say later, letter, because this is a singular subject. So is comes here, is letter is. Then I have to change this one as past participle verb 3. So it comes sent. A letter is sent by. So we have to change this one as an object. So he become him, right? So a letter is sent by him. Okay. Now the next example, let me give one more example as an active. Right? He sends letters. Now let's analyze the sentence. So this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. But remember, this time the object is plural. And the first time the object was singular, but this time the object is plural. We have subject. Now the rule was like this, that if you want to change an active sentence to passive, so you have to bring the object of an active sentence as the subject of the passive sentence. Now I can say letters or the letters, it doesn't matter. So I can say the letters. Okay, the letters. Now according to this subject, I have to choose a to be verb. Or is the right answer. The letters are past participle sent. The letters are sent by him. So we have done it. Okay. Now let's work on the next tense. Now let's talk about simple past. Right? Okay. Let's go for the example first. The first example is he, right, sent a letter. Remember that in the sentence, write a letter. Let's analyze. This is the subject, this is the verb to, this is the object. Now let's change the sentence into the passive. This comes first, later, because this is the singular subject, I have to use a to be. Because we are going to talk about simple past tense, so these to be changed to the past form. Letter was, then we are using from verb 3, sent by him. Okay? Okay, let's have one more example. He sent letters, right? You can add time expression yesterday, last week, last month, it doesn't matter. You can add it, okay, at the end. But the position doesn't change. You can add the time expression at the end of the sentence, whether it's passive or active sentence, it doesn't matter. Again, subject, verb to, this is the object, but this time object is plural. So this comes first, letters, According to subject, we use are. So let's change are to the past form. Letters were sent by him. Now remember, by phrase is also very important. Okay, let's go for the future simple. Right? Future simple. Okay, I forgot to say, I forgot to tell you that if there is auxiliary, okay, and then you have to use auxiliary plus be plus verb 3. This is very important. Remember this one and put it into your mind. If you've got auxiliaries in your sentence, you have to add only be, nothing else. Okay, then after that you have to add verb 3. Same example. Okay, he will send a letter. He will send a letter. In this sentence, we have all subject, we have auxiliary, you have verb simple form, and we have the singular object. Okay, as I told you before, object of an active sentence becomes the subject of the passive. A letter, we have auxiliary here. Auxiliary comes first. A letter will, as in structure, auxiliary plus be plus verb 3. A letter will be, then we're using verb 3, sent. Okay, by who? By him. Now let's change plural one. He will send letters. In this example, we have letters. Okay, here. Now, letters comes first. The letters will be sent by him. Understand? So this is the simple future tense, how you can change it. Good. If you have any question, please write in comment below, and I will definitely answer your all questions. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the present continuous. Present continuous tense. Okay. How we can change a present continuous tense? Okay. First example. He is sending a letter. Remember the structure? Being plus verb 3. This is the structure we are using from this structure. Okay. Again, same thing is happening here. We have to bring the object of the active sentence as a subject of the passive. So I can say a letter is being sent by him. A letter is the subject. To be, we have verb being, because this modifies that we are talking about continuous tense, and be talks about that we are talking about present. It means that the passive sentence indicates that I am, or the sentence is, present continuous tense. Okay, now let's talk about the plural. He is sending letters, right? He is sending letters. Now, how we can change? First, we have to bring the subject of active as a object of active as a subject of passive. Letters, well, this is plural, we have to use are. Letters are being sent by him. Okay, letters are sent by him. Remember this. Okay, don't forget the rules. Rules are always the same. Now we have past continuous tense. Remember, past continuous and present continuous, the structure is absolutely the same, but the only difference is that we have to change HTML to was and were. Okay, let's see the example. He is, oh, he was, right? Yeah, he was sending a letter, right? So how, again, you have to determine, analyze the subject, an object, the verb is here. Okay, it modifies that. We are talking about past continuous tense, how we can change into passive. So we have to bring the object as a subject. We can say a letter, because we are talking about the past, so I have to use from was. A letter was, and I am going to use being because I'm talking about continuous tenses or progressive tenses. A letter was being sent. So the sent modifies that I'm talking about the passive. A letter was being sent by him. You can use him, by him, if you want it. So the next example is very simple. So you can say he was sending letters, right? So again, can you do it? You try it first. Very good. So letters were being sent by him. Letters were being sent by him. Okay, this was past continuous tense. How we can change past continuous tense. Let's go with going to, right? Let's see. Example. Remember that this going to is an auxiliary, okay? Or semi-auxiliary. I am going to send a letter, right? I'm going to send a letter. Now, example, how to change passive. Letter. A letter, according to the subject, we are using to be. Letter A is going to be, sorry, this is going to be sent, D, right? Okay, a letter is going to be sent, but in fact, this is the subject here. If you change into the object, so I can use it me, by me, right? But if I'm going to change this into plural, I am going to send letters, right? So you can say in passive, letters are going to be sent by me. Okay, letters are going to be sent by me. So this is we can change going to sentence into the passive. Now let's talk about present perfect, right? Present perfect. Example. Okay, let's follow the previous sentences. He has sent a letter, right? He has sent a letter. Now this comes first, as I told you before. A letter, because of the subject, we are choosing our auxiliary. You can use it if it is plural. You can use from have. Otherwise, you can use from has. Okay. A letter has. So I told you that you have to use from been because we are talking about the present perfect. Okay. A letter has been sent. Okay. A letter has been sent by him. Okay. I'm not going to write that by him. That takes time. Next example is he has sent. Yeah, he has sent letters. How we can change it into perfect? Letters comes first. Letters, because it's plural. Yeah, because it is plural, so I have to use from have. Okay? Right. Letters have been. Yeah, letters have been sent. By him, you can say, right? Letters have been sent by him. Okay, this is the way that you can change a present perfect tense to passive. Okay, now let's talk about the past perfect. Past perfect tense, right? So, same example. He had, because I'm going to talk about the past, right? Haven't has is changed to had because we're going to talk about the past perfect. And he had sent, because we're using past participle perfect tenses. He had sent a letter. Okay. Now, how we can change this one? The same thing is happening here, but we have got have been plus had. Okay. We can say the letter had been sent by him. Next example. He had sent letters. Now we have plural here. Now the object comes first, the subject. So we can say letters. Had is game using had. Then we use been. Had been sent. Okay, a letter had been sent. Okay, this is the way how we can change past perfect to passive. And let me tell you how we can change infinitive into passive. So in infinitive also we are just adding a be. Okay, remember this one, right? Okay, we're using just be in infinitive. He has to send a letter. In this example, he has to send a letter. We have to plus verb, which modifies that the sentence is infinitive because we have to plus verb, right? To plus verb is called infinitive. Now the same, the procedure is the same. Or we can say a letter has to be sent. Okay, a letter has to be sent by him. Now let's change into the plural. He has to send. Sorry, yeah. Oh my God, this is also send, right? Okay, he has to send letters. How we can change into passive? So I can say letters have to be sent by him. This example, letters is plural or plural because that's why I have to use from have. But in this sentence, letter is singular, so I'm using from has. Okay, a letter is singular, this one is plural, so that's why I am using from have. Okay, now let's talk about some models, how we can change models into passive sentence. I mean models, I mean auxiliaries, how we can change auxiliary plus. This is the way that we can change auxiliaries, okay? The example is, for example, he can send a letter. He can send a letter, right? So, how we can change the passive? So this is the object, this is the object of the active, so it comes the subject, it becomes the subject. So I can say a letter, and then a letter can be sent by him. Remember, we have always be plus verb 3, be plus verb 3. This is be plus verb 3, okay? And this is the structure of the passive. But be is always changing its form. Sometimes it is is, sometimes it's am, and sometimes it is are. and sometimes going to be wasn't, were, been, being. Okay, so that's why. So the form or the shackle of be, the form and the form of be is modifying. That what tense is it? Next example. For example, could, right? They could send a letter, right? A letter could be sent by. Okay. You can use could. You can use will. You can use might. You can use may. You can use any auxiliaries instead of these auxiliaries. Just you have to use auxiliary plus be plus past participle on the verb. Okay? So this was the lesson for active and passive. And thank you very much. This was the lesson, and thank you very much. I hope you learned something and enjoyed from the lesson. And in my next lesson, I will discuss a very complex way of changing an active sentence to passive, or very complex sentence active to change into passive. Okay, you must watch the video 2 or 3 times in order to get it. Okay, practice a lot, and thank you very much. If you need any book, grammatical book or grammar writing books, please text me or message me or send me an email. I will send you the book. Okay, thank you very much. I wish you all the best. See you in my next video.